Great, the photos aren't here. Well, I'll take care of it myself. I don't need to call the technicians to tell me that, after mending it for an hour, there was a sheet of paper stuck inside. Now it should be possible to remove the printer cover. See? There really is paper jammed inside. Weird, it won't move a bit. The safety lock is released, so it's possible to take the toner out. Now I'm removing the toner. Right, the jammed paper is out. I can't see any other problem. It surely won't print without toner. There's no sense in pushing this button when the printer cover is unlocked. There's no need to remove the toner again. I'd better not touch that. God only knows what might happen. I'd better not touch that. God only knows what might happen. There's no sense in pushing. The printer is working. These photos weren't easy to get. Hopefully it will be worth the effort. Here are the photos I printed.
To get the catalog was quite easy. What are we going to do next?
Whatever it takes. This time we have to be really particular about it.
It seems to me it makes Renier quite nervous. I'd say she's under pressure from the bosses to show off to those Americans.
So let's see if we can find something interesting.
If you find some similarities, then insert a note with the letter of that particular photo to that page.
But we'll all look at it, won't we?
No chance. We don't want to restrain your clever mind. After all, you've shown you're in the same form as before the break.
Yeah, it will be good to know our boss is on the ball.
To identify a painting, I probably should use the tags with letters on them. It's Barocci too. He made this painting several years later. It's almost identical to the previous one, but I see some differences there. So?
All parts of that wall painting represent various paintings with the motif of the Annunciation.
So it's really the work of some fanatic. Those technicians are dead.
So far, no one has said they're dead. Not all of them, anyway.
That's not important now. We have to check it out one more time so we don't overlook anything. Not the smallest thing.
Do you mean anything particular?
Hasn't it occurred to you how much those paintings resemble the original? It can't have been easy to do it from memory. Did he have a copy with him? Those proportions, in fact, everything. That man has been painting for a long time. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Interesting point. I'll surely add that to the report.
But that gets us back to those technicians. I've already heard about Argo. They aren't common structural engineers or technicians. Most of them do restoration. And they may be able to do something like that.
In the meantime, I'll try to get more info about those paintings.
I'll try to find something too.
Right. I'm going to do that report. It won't write itself. We'll try to be as brief as possible. No one ever bothers to read long reports. All right, it's done. Let's see what Diego and Kotu have managed to put together so far.
Two tickets landed on my...
So?
I have something here. I've added it to Kotu's findings, but it's not much. If you find it interesting, send it together with the report.
Well, there are a couple of interesting things there.
Max's name connected with those paintings? What does it mean? Why now? Why just now? Why can't I have a little rest? Even chance conspires against me. Or maybe not. But what could it be? An omen?
Are you all right?
What?
I just want to know if you're all right. You're as pale as a sheet. Maybe you should have some rest. It's your first day here, after all. Why stress yourself? Go home, get some sleep. Me and Kotu will manage somehow. In fact, everything is almost done. We only have to send it.
Would you really take care of that report? I could use a bit of rest, that's for sure.
Sure, I just need to send it. Don't knock yourself out. I don't want to regret persuading you to return to the job.
Something's going on, Diego. Something really weird. Do you think you could omit the irrelevant things from the summary? We don't need to flood the FBI with information having, in fact, no connection with the case.
Irrelevant stuff, but I told you. I see, of course, irrelevant stuff connected to someone. Understood. Why confuse them more than necessary, right? I'll adjust that.
Laura, I almost forgot. Someone called you.
Suzanne?
Yes, Laura?
Who wanted to talk to me?
Someone called and asked if you were here, speaking quite strangely. I thought maybe he was South African. My roommate has been dating one recently, so I listen to it almost daily.
Wasn't the name Jabali? Didn't they mention the name Leclerc?
They didn't introduce themselves, but yes, I think they mentioned the second name. And then something about having information for you. But when they were told you couldn't answer the phone immediately, they simply hung up. Didn't even give their number.
But I really need that information.
The exchange is manned by Muriel today. Maybe she'll tell you where they called from.
So, how did it go? That case seems to be big, doesn't it?
Definitely, but a little too much blood for my taste, as well as those weird details.
If anyone can solve this, you can. Who else?
Operator,
Hey, Laura.
I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry. Should I drop by?
Thanks, but let's leave it for next time, shall we? Right now, I need you to help me here at work. Someone called in, but they didn't leave a message.
Uh-huh. And what exactly do you need me to do?
Would you be able to find out what number the call came from?
Of course. Or do you think my computer is here just to play solitaire?
You're great, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm gonna find the last number they called you from, and I'll put you through right away.
Durand here, the Office of Art Theft Investigation. Someone called me from this number?
It is Durand.
Miss Durand, I'm glad to hear you again.
Zenzele? Where are you calling from?
I'm closer than you would expect. I've come to New York. I'm going to attend the opening of an exhibition. Very old and very strange things.
I see. Anything new at home? Anything at all?
I'm afraid nothing you'd like to hear. But I need to talk to you anyway. Come to my flat anytime. It's just next to the Neon Opera.
I'm sorry, but maybe some other time. I'm really busy at the moment.
We have such an old saying in my homeland. One who hides his illness has no medicine. And there's something to it, don't you think? Come. Come, my dear. It's important that we have a talk, very important.
Madam is exhausted from the journey. You have to wait. Well, and that stuff around here. They're rare things, so try not to make fun of them, all right?
Sure, Jabali. I see our sympathies are mutual. Zenzele has really weird decorations here. Very valuable, but a bit morbid. Almost all that's shown here is somehow connected with death. There's a vase with a face in the showcase. This kind of art is quite common in Africa. There's some curved blade inside. It looks sharp and dangerous. I can see deep slashes on it. It's obviously no dummy. It looks sharp. Judging by its height, it would perfectly fit Jabali. I think that mask is on the cover of one of my books about ancestral African arts. Such oblong masks are common in popular souvenirs from Africa, but these are a bit rarer. I can't say those things give me a pleasant feeling. This mask is much smaller than the others, but it's just as gloomy as them. Another depiction of Anubis. Zenzele's fascination with that dark deity is really alarming. I read somewhere that jackals used to be seen wandering through Egyptian graveyards. Maybe that's why the god of the afterlife has a jackal's head. All those African carpets are hand-woven and extremely durable, which is more proof that modern doesn't necessarily mean better. It looks functional, but I think it's been a long time since it was last used. Beautiful inlaid table. The board is quite worn. Whole generations have probably sat by it, considering how hard the wood is that it's made from. It's a simple, plain bowl, but it surely is old and rare, much like everything here. Those damn statuettes. Why did she leave them here? Does she want me to notice them? If it weren't for those statuettes, Max would... I shouldn't have listened to Renier. I shouldn't...
They say that anger and wrath are destructive. It was never true, and it's not true now. Anger is better than resignation. Such a flame may get you far, Lara, but you must control it. Let it burn only where it's needed.
That's why you invited me? Did I rush here only to listen to a lecture on good behavior? You know well why I've come.
Forgive me. I understand your concern with only one thing. I wish I had a good news for you, but it is not meant to be. They still haven't found Max's body, but nevertheless I brought you something, an amulet.
But that's his amulet. He had it on him.
Washed up by the sea. I'll give it to you, but I'd like to ask you for something. I want to help you, but you must believe me. Do you believe, Lara?
In what?
You know in what. Do you believe in Max?
How many days since he's been away? How often waking from dreams where all is as it was? Haven't I been tortured enough? Give me that amulet and I'll go.
The amulet is not an ordinary trinket. It's a powerful thing. A thing with its own story, with its soul. With a strong tie because it was given out of love. I know a ritual old and powerful that we may perform. We could summon his soul.
His soul? It means that he's dead?
Some things resist being described with the words of this world, my dear. We can't define all things, store them in a nice box with a tag. Is the color gray more white or black? So how do you decide?
Do you expect me to sit at this table with you and play spooky games? Summon those souls of yours, but you won't find him. He's alive somewhere and will return to me. He'll come back to me when the right time comes.
Oh, that unfailing human fate. Great thing. Tell me, if Max was really alive, what if he's changed? Views, values that you shared. None of that is unchanging.
He couldn't have changed so much that I'd stop loving him.
Be careful with that word, my dear. Never is too powerful for someone who doesn't see far.
I should take it. To hide it. Before he returns.
That amulet. Not many people know the true value of things. Only a few understand their true essence. The magic they hide in themselves. If you try to sell it, how much do you think you'll get?
I wouldn't sell it, never. He's going to take it back someday.
Sure, you wouldn't sell it. For anybody else, it would have value of maybe several hundred rands. But for you, you feel the magic, the fine spider web woven into it.
All he ever had, what he touched, has now a completely different value.
And moreover, what about the stuff he intentionally put a part of himself in?
Why all these riddles? Do you mean his paintings?
Maybe. A painting is a window to the soul, Laura. I think you would be silly not to look at it very closely. Maybe you will see his thoughts in it.
Let's stop it, okay? I don't really have the strength to talk about him anymore now, or about the accident.
Fate. Fate is not an accident, Laura.
I'll take that amulet with me until Max comes back. This is Osram Ne Nesorma, the star and the moon, two inseparable lovers who wander through the night together forever. My gift to Max. Maybe you're used to manipulating people, but I recognize when someone's hiding something from me.
Now I don't understand you. What do you want from me?
You know if Max is still alive, don't you?
You think I'm tormenting you willfully? If you hear the voice of one of those singers of yours from the other room now, does it mean they are there or not? It may be a radio, but doesn't have to be. Some questions just don't have a clear answer, not even for me.
Who are you? I mean, really.
I'm an old woman from an old family who is not going to be here much longer. And maybe I sometimes see a bit further than others.
So it's voodoo.
Why do you need to know everything, to understand everything? Your own aunt has a gift that you can't explain. So you stop asking questions, but you still have it somewhere in your head.
Who told you that? Have you had Jabali get information about me?
That is enough.
Wait, she doesn't mean it badly. She knows it's not like that, doesn't she? But to allow you to sleep well, yes, Jabali found it out.
He's suspicious and never stops looking at me. Despite his tailored suit, he's obviously poised and ready to react if need be. She's old, really very old, and with those blind eyes of hers, she should look weak and helpless, but it's definitely not so. The aura surrounding her is almost tangible. Strange name, Jabali.
Strange name, Larissa.
Touché. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Jabali, that is the present. The past remains in the grey dust of Nyanga. Together with that name, I no longer remember. And I don't want to. Do you know what Nyanga is? It was she who pulled me from that hell. A young boy who was skilled with a knife. She never asked what I'd done, what a mess I'd left behind. She's a saint, miss. What would I become without her? How shall I repay it all to her? She hasn't much time left. It's not fair.
I would say what you're doing is already enough, and I think she sees it that same way. We'll talk later.
Certainly. Our paths aren't going to part for some time. You'll see.
Our beautiful and newly restored flat, now empty and silent. Zanzella is probably right. I should try to find out what Max was thinking before he disappeared.